The Automat Kalashnikova, translated to Kalashnikov's automatic rifle, was finalized in the year 1947, just in time for the military trials of the Soviet Union, and the following year, it would enter military service. And not long after that, it would be officially accepted by the Soviet armed forces and used by the majority of the member states of the Warsaw Pact. And by the layman, it is referred to simply as the AK-47, and is without a doubt one of the most popular rifles in the world. While the AK-47 is considered to be the most popular firearm in the world, it is not currently the one in vast circulation. The original stamped receiver of the AK-47, first produced in the late 1940s, was difficult to actually produce, which is why, going forward into the 1950s, there were many attempts made to make a milled receiver that would be easier to produce. However, eventually, a variation of the AK-47 called the Automat Kalashnikova Modernizirovanny, also known as the AKM, which was the member of the AK platform that both perfected the stamped receiver and spread across the world in vast quantities. Moving forward, the AKM would become involved in every conflict across the globe, whether it be Middle Eastern, Southeast Asian, or Eastern European. Of course, going forward, the AKM would eventually need to be replaced by another weapon, which would also be on the AK platform, that being the AK-74 in 1974. The AK-74 would be chambered in a lighter cartridge, that being the 545x39mm, as opposed to the original 7.62x39mm of the AK-47 and the AKM. The rifle would see service well from 1974 to the present day. Variations of this firearm, such as those with the side-folding stock, are utilized by the Russian Air Force even today, though other models coming up on the AK platform could eventually overtake this rifle in military service, as the AK-74 would serve as the precursor to the AK-100 platform, which would come about in the 21st century, and would attempt to convert the AK platform to a 5.56x45 NATO cartridge. Variations of the AK-74, such as the AKS-74U, also known by some collectors as the Krinkov, would be tested in the field, but failed to serve any proper function and eventually replaced by other firearms. In fact, the Krinkov would also serve the name Ubolyudok, which in Russian means bastard, which would gain its name because of its unreliability with rapid fire. A branch off of the original AK-47, known as the RPK, actually became the standard light machine gun of the Russian armed forces. With a longer barrel, a bipod, and a sturdier stock, it far surpassed the original light machine gun it was made to replace, the RPD, which was heavy and bulky and unnecessary once the AK-47 came about. The role Mikhail Kalashnikov played in the advancement of firearms as a whole cannot be understated. The concept of the assault rifle may not exist if he had not expanded upon the idea originally set out by the Sturmgewehr in World War II, and the influence that this rifle has had shows in our world today. For those of you who actually sat through this entire video, thank you for your viewership. I hope this is the start of something really good. Hoping I can turn this into something big. And what the fuck are you doing here?